So, this is my review on The Fosters last night's episode. So, when they start off where they left off from last week's episode, where Steph and Mike go inside the house and you hear gunshots, and in last night's episode, they show you what happened. So, they go inside, they search the house, and finally, Steph finds the guy, the boyfriend, and they both shoot at the same time. And I'm just like in shock. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, Steph is the one who got shot. I mean, I expected someone to get shot, just not Steph. And oh my gosh, her condition was horrible. Like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. I can't even explain. And I'm really glad that Jesus wasn't there, because honestly, I thought he possibly got shot, because like I said last time, it seemed like it was on impulse. But I'm glad he wasn't, and he took Anna to a women's shelter, which I thought was really nice of him. But then she asked for money, and I'm like, Jesus, don't, because if she gets money, she's just gonna run away. I mean, I expected her not to stay there anyway, which she didn't. But I'm just like, ugh. I'm glad that he didn't give her that much money, though. It looked like he gave her a lot of money, but I'm glad he didn't. So she can't get out of town on that. And when they're getting Steph into the ambulance and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a bunch of blood. And Lena gets the call and everything, and I'm just like, I feel so bad for the family. And Mariana's telling her the story, and I'm like, I hope she can just forgive them, because honestly, they didn't mean any harm. Obviously, they didn't mean for their mom to get shot. So I'm like, I hope Lena can forgive them. And Brandon yells at them because, he feels like it's their fault, which, I don't know. I mean, they didn't mean for her to get shot. It's not, they were just trying to help their mom out. And yeah, it's just like, I hope Brandon doesn't completely hate the twins either. It's just like, this is a mess. And I thought it was so nice that they were showing like Lena's flashbacks, which when I saw the end of it, I was like, maybe they were Steph's flashbacks, because when she was in the hospital, they flashback. But I thought the flashbacks were really sweet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's when they first met, and their meeting and how they ended up together is basically what the flashbacks show. And yeah, and I feel so bad because the twins are just sitting there alone in their corner, kind of like when they came to the police station when Steph first saw them. And I was like, oh, poor twins. And, when the investigators were asking Mike questions, I thought they were being really rude about it, because they were like, oh, well, it's your fault. And you must have, like, I don't know. I just thought they were interrogating him a little too much. And I'm like, it's not his fault. Like, what could he have done? They were searching the whole house. They divided it up, So when she got shot, no, he wasn't there, because he was looking in the other room for him. I mean, they were trying to pin it on him when he didn't do anything. I don't think he's at fault for it. And like, during this whole like hospital scene when everyone was waiting, I was always wondering, where's Jude? Which the thought did occur to me, oh, he might be at Connor's house sleeping over, which he was, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So yeah, and when they tell Lena what happened to Steph, I'm just like, that condition is so serious. Like, her lung collapsed, and she can barely talk, and she has all these tubes in her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, never want to get shot right there, because obviously that's an important spot. I mean, your whole body's an important spot, but obviously that's where one of your organs is, because I know nothing about the human body. And I thought it was so cute when, the flashback where Mariana and Jesus come into the police station. I thought it was so cute when she was like, I thought you'd like some lollipops. And, Mariana just looks at her, and she doesn't take it, so Jesus takes it for her. And he offers it to Mariana, and then she takes it. And I'm like, that is too cute. I thought that was adorable. I was like, oh my gosh, Mariana's so shy. And I thought, when they were going through the boxes, that poem was really sweet about how, we may not have given birth to you, but we are still family and we're still your moms and everything. I really like that poem, and I actually really want to go look it up because that's a really sweet poem. And it's basically saying even if we're not blood related, we're still family, which is true. Family doesn't have to be blood all the time. And I'm glad Callie talked to Brandon. When Brandon was trying to pick out Lena's clothes for the next day. I'm glad Callie talked to him because he really was being a jerk to the twins. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, like Callie said, you have to try to be in their position. And, yeah, I mean, that would be really scary, I mean, you're in a foster home and you get one of your moms shot and, obviously their thoughts are they don't want us anymore, we're going to get taken away, we're going to be given to another family. And I'm really glad Callie's in the house because she can put in perspective for Brandon. Because honestly, I think if Brandon was mad at the whole house, he'd only talk to Callie. So yeah, I'm glad they had that talk. And I'm glad they apologized through the little, monster voice speaker, which I used to sidetrack, but I used to play with that with my cousin when we were little. And I liked it, but I didn't because you could barely hear anything they were saying. But yeah, it was I'm glad they made up. And, I felt bad for Jude because, I agreed with Callie. Somewhat, I mean, no, he didn't really need to know what was going on because, Jude's really sensitive. But, yeah, I was like, Steph's not gonna die, Jude. It'll be okay. And, I was really glad when, Brandon and Callie were in the kitchen and Brandon's getting close to Callie. I'm like, no, because I am 100% Wyatt and Callie. I love them together. And I'm really glad Wyatt came in when he did. I mean, it sucks that he had to see that, but I'm glad he came in because if he didn't, Brandon totally would have kissed Callie. Whether it was cheek or lips, there would have been a kiss. And, yeah, and, everyone's in the waiting room. And, Wyatt's like, Callie, let's go outside and talk. And I'm just like, Callie, you just left Jude alone in the seat. I mean, because there were 3 seats, and it was all 3 of them, and, then Jude's just there alone. And I'm like, oh, I'm really glad there was a seat next to Lena. I'm like, they can comfort each other. And, the investigators are still questioning Mike, and I was like, Mike shot, I don't know the whole police business and everything, but it kind of seemed like Mike shot in self-defense. I mean, they're saying it was on impulse, which, yeah, it was, but at the same time, if Mike hadn't shot him, the guy could have shot him himself. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think they should be, interrogating Mike like that. I mean, I think the only reason they're going so hard on him, though, is because he has been drinking on the job lately, so that might be the reason. And, when Wyatt's talking to Callie about how he thinks Brandon and her should be together, he was like, I mean, what's the big deal? You guys aren't staying there anyway. And I'm like, Wyatt? You can't say that. I mean, I know Wyatt's trying to make her feel better, but I thought that was a little mean. I mean, he was like, you guys aren't staying, they're not going to keep you. I'm like, harsh, maybe? I mean, I know you're trying to help, but yeah. And, Wyatt convinces Callie to go talk to Brandon, and I'm just like, why? I mean, I understand. I mean, you don't want to be in a relationship where you know that the other person has feelings for another person. So I understand why he let her go, but I was really hoping for Wyatt and Callie. I love them together. They're so cute. And, when Callie's just striding with all this confidence, I'm like, oh no. Brandon's gonna be kissing Talia or something, or, Talia's gonna be hugging him, or something with Talia is gonna happen. Which it did. She comes boasting through those doors, and, Brandon's alone, but as soon as she's 10 feet away from him, Talia comes up and comforts him. And I'm like, I saw that coming. I knew that was gonna happen. And, Lena then hugs Brandon, because I think this is when the doctor comes out and tells them that, they're allowed to see them or see her or something. And, you see Lena hug Brandon, which is a really tight, comforting hug. But then you see her hug the twins. And I thought her hug was totally different towards them. Because her hug towards Brandon was tight and comforting, but, you know, she hugged the twins lightly, and I'm like, I mean, you can tell that Lena's a little hurt by them, which is understandable, but, you know, Mariana is really sensitive, and, you know, they show her face, and I'm like, I feel so bad for them. And, you know, Brandon sees Mike and his dad, and Mike's drinking. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, you see how upset it makes Brandon when you drink, and you think now is the perfect time to drink? I mean, okay, you think you need a drink, but you're really going to drink in front of Brandon at this critical time, and like, why would you do that? And I don't know. I was really glad when they said that Steph was awake, so it's like, I'm glad, you know, that she's alive. I mean, I knew she wasn't going to die. They can't kill her off already. But, oh my gosh. I know I keep saying it, but that was really bad. That was a really bad shot. And, you know, I'm glad, you know, Lena and Mariana have that talk, and I'm glad that Lena forgives Mariana and Jesus. Yeah, that was just, this whole episode is really bad. And, through this whole episode, you know, when Brandon blows up, I'm like, Brandon has a bit of a temper. I mean, you know, he blows up kind of quick. I mean, understandably, but he has a little bit of a temper to me. And, you know, then you see Anna is pulled up out of the cop car, and, you know, because they're taking her to the hospital for questioning. And I thought it was so funny how Lena just stomps up to her, and she's like, don't you ever come near my kids again. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Lena, standing up for your kids. Gotcha. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then I thought it was kind of funny how, not like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious, but like, funny. How Steph was like, it hurts to laugh. I was like, oh, I'm just glad she's okay, you know. I'm glad she's not dying. And, so yeah, that's what I thought about this episode. And I don't know if it was just me, but this episode seemed like it went on forever. Which, you know, I didn't notice till I thought about it, you know, when it was coming to an end. But yeah, it seemed like it took forever. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!